6:53, it is Alabama's Morning News. I'm JT. Sean Themea is back with us. He's the Chief of Staff at Young Americans for Liberty to talk about what's happening with the affidavit as the court hearing now to unseal that is underway. Hey, Sean, welcome back in. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Man, I'll tell you what, the push for this, and even Vice President Pence, former President Pence said, look, we got to have transparency in all of this. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. So they're pushing back, saying if they do this, it's going to interfere with the criminal investigation. So U.S. federal judge now has agreed to hear some arguments on this. Where are we in this?
Yeah, well, we're looking at the same U.S. federal judge that signed off on the warrant who is deciding whether or not they will unseal the warrant. So I wouldn't hold my breath on getting some more transparency from the FBI, or as the Federal Bureau of Intimidation, as I like to call them. You know, these people have not been friends to the American people across the spectrum. The left has derided them for years as being unfair, as being, trampling on civil liberties, with good evidence. And now when you see the raid on Trump and the way they've treated Trump over the last 6 years, you see the vast majority of Americans, if they're being intellectually honest, waking up to the fact that, hey, maybe these intelligence agencies don't have our best interests in mind, and that we should be watching them instead of them watching us. So that's the one silver lining to all this unfair treatment, is that people are waking up. Yeah,
I was talking to a former FBI agent a couple of days ago about this whole thing, and I flat out asked him, I said, politics involved in this, or is this legit going for all of this? He goes, absolutely, politics are involved. At this level, politics are a part of this, and it really shouldn't be. This is an unprecedented move, as we know. And when politics were, dancing around Hillary Clinton or even Hunter Biden's situation, it's stand down. No, we're not moving forward. Leave it alone. No more to looking into this. But when it comes to Donald Trump, the fear that he's coming back into play and potentially, and it looks like will, run for president again, they're not going to have it. They are going to do anything and everything they can to stop this man from being a part of this ever again. And I hear a lot of people blaming Bruce Reinhardt. Apparently now he's the magistrate judge down there, had himself approved. He proved this whole thing. But you're not, as a magistrate in a town like that, going to buck the system and go, I'm not approving this. When you've got the federal government coming in, guns a-blazing, federal judge involved as well, the attorney general signing off on this, and Lord knows, I don't care what the White House tells you. The White House knew that this was coming down. There's no doubt in my mind about it. So when you got the feds coming into your small town and you're a magistrate judge, I mean, what option do you have, right?
Yeah, I wish I could, give him some more grace. It's a tough situation. But it is people standing up to this tyranny that's the only thing that's going to stop it, right? So, when you have the barrel of a gun metaphorically in your face saying do this or suffer the consequences, it's really hard to say no. And that's exactly how the FBI and any of these government agencies operate. It's by the barrel of a gun, right? It is not fair. And you're so right about Hillary Clinton and Hunter Biden. They didn't even dance around Hunter Biden. The FBI just pretended that he didn't even exist. There was nothing to dance around. Hillary Clinton, they essentially rewrote the law to make it so that she wouldn't be indicted. Anybody can look at those facts and say, hey, wait a minute, something not right is going on here. And if Donald Trump was pro-war and pro-expanding the intelligence community like the last 3 or 4 presidents that have come in the modern era, they wouldn't be targeting him at all.
Yeah.
They'd be protecting him, but he stood up to them, and that's why they're coming after him.
Well, the balance of justice is certainly not even in all of this. We know that. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you. Sean Themea, Chief of Staff there at Young Americans for Liberty.